Hello and welcome back to Norfolkfords. Today I've been messing about with what we call the Peoney rigs. So for those of you who don't recognise this cab, this used to be an old Sam sprayer. You see the sticker there. So why is this a picking rig? Well, for an old sprayer it's got no tank and no booms. That's because this area, when you put all the panels back on, is a picking floor, a conveyor belt that sticks out 12 metres on the side. So this is the counterbalance and the tensioner system that holds it. So then the idea is you have a gang that walks alongside this behind the conveyor belt, and as they're picking, they're putting them on the conveyor belts. So then flowers come up the conveyor and there's a chap on the back here, picks them up, put them on a cage located on this, and when the cage is full, pulls that pin out, pulls this pin out, and he spins it round, then giving him a fresh cage on the table up there. So these are an old bit of kit. They just need a little bit of checking over. They only do about 3, maybe 4 weeks worth of work in a year, and then they spend the rest of the year sat at the back of the yard. Line that up. Not doing a lot. So it was interesting to, well, we've got 2 rigs. We've got this blue one, which we painted Belmont blue. This is years and years ago. I would have been very little when we had these, I think. Maybe even before me, I can't remember. But we've got the blue rig, we've got the red rig. Red rig, it's fine. Got a new battery on it. And she fired up, topped up the hydraulics, and away she goes. This one, well, we started off, for some reason we couldn't find the key. We've been looking for a fair few minutes, and we thought, bloody hell. And you know what we almost thought? We almost thought a magpie had nicked the key, because there's a break in that window up there where birds sometimes get in and nest in the headliner. Really annoying, but you try and stop them from getting in there. But anyway, we think, oh no, we've lost the key. We're gonna have to jimmy the ignition barrel. So we then start taking the panel off, and then I realised the key's on the floor. Yeah, it just fell out on the floor, and I went like this. I went, there it is, and Mark, who was sat in the cab, he basically jumped out of the seat because I made him jump. So got it started, moved it over here because we need to change one of the tyres, because that's got a fair old split in it. So as soon as we put the weight of the conveyor belt out the side, it's not going to last very long. So parked it here overnight, and come to move it this morning. Oh, we left the ignition on. The battery's dead. So swap a battery out. Tried starting it up just a little while ago. No. I'll show you what has happened. So in here, this is the forward and backwards control for the sprayer. This is all hydrostatic. And this is the wiring, which gives us a safe start switch. So it has to be in the neutral position for it to actually start. Safe start sort of thing. And it looks to me like we had a slight fire. So quite lucky the whole thing didn't go up really, but rather annoyed that we're going to have to rewire that. As well as that, it burnt out the starter motor. What happened was, this key got jammed in the start position. We never noticed. So we burnt out the starter motor and we set fire to them wires. From what we can tell, the rest of it's alright. So that's going to be rewired, as well as the starter motor, which I'll just quickly show you. Here's the starter motor. We tried putting a screwdriver across it just to, you know, cut out the burnt wires and stuff to see if we could actually get it to start. We've it's dead, absolutely dead. I was hoping a little bit that maybe I could bench test it, but I'm not even going to bother. I wish YouTube had a way of smelling, because this is burnt. No doubt about it, this is burnt. So, I'm going to find a new one. Never mind. We'll leave that there, that's tomorrow's problem. Shall we go have a look at the barley? So, it was about 10 days ago I put fertiliser on. First time I'd ever driven the fert spreader. And, this is just the Belmont fields. And I'd say they're actually looking pretty good. Just walked through, and it's all looking really consistent. It does prove, just by tweaking the application a little bit, just a little bit more on them yellow areas, you do get it better. I mean, we've still got, slightly different shades over there, but that's more to do with the soil. The soil on this field goes between light and heavy quite quickly in a few patches. So it's good to see it fairly uniform. It's all very good height. It's standing up pretty well. Over here on the other side though, you can see, in my mind, I think that looks like it's struggling a little bit more. The green's a bit darker. It's not as it looks less healthy, because that was all the sort of reclaim, and that I ran out of fertiliser on that field, so it hasn't had quite as good a start. But where I have been on that sort of side there, you can see just slight differences. I might be talking absolute rubbish, really. But I imagine there's some sort of effect been done. And also here we are with the peonies. So this is what we're getting the picking rigs ready for. Lovely peonies. We've got acres upon acres of these, and don't they just look fantastic? So these are going to start being picked this weekend, I think. So by the time this video goes out, you'll probably start seeing them in the supermarket. So I know I'll certainly be keeping a bunch aside for Chloe. She loves a peony. So yeah, let's go have a look at the peony rig. So here's the red rig. Haven't got the belt on yet. We'll go back to the yard after this and show you the conveyors. They're nothing that special. They're incredibly long. So here's the red rig. At least this one's actually running. So, like I said, this used to be a sand sprayer. I don't know what year. Dad would probably know. But there is an air-cooled Deutz engine, 6-cylinder, naturally aspirated, and it's a bit monstrous considering this just sits at tick over, going along at less than a K, picking up flowers. Definitely a monster. for a diesel. Got this mark on here because you normally run it here, just so that gets a bit of charge in the alternator, keeps the battery good. Here's the hand throttle. You've got to push that little button down. It's a little bit of an animal. I don't know what horsepower it is, but I bet it's got a good bit of lug. And that is how you turn the key off, Mark. Just a reminder. Here's the 2 conveyor belts. Like I said, pretty damn long. So they're simply just driven by motor at the end there, and that's plumbed into the sprayer's built-in hydraulics, which has been repurposed from the levelling, I believe. I believe the lever used to level the booms now powers that motor, which drives the conveyor belt. So obviously this folds up for transport just to make it a bit easier, but when we get into field, it gets all attached. The end then flips over, brings the tension back onto the belt, and then it's a conveyor belt. There's nothing more to it, but that was our nice efficient way of improving picking. We used to use this on the Lilies, we used to use this on Gladys, we used to use it on Sweet Williams, Peonies, you know, all sorts. But the times have changed, and now we only actually use this on the Peonies now. So the rigs used to get quite a lot of use, and now they get 3 weeks out of the year. So just proves how the times change a little bit. But there you go. So hopefully we can get a new starter motor fairly soon, because yeah, running only one rig is going to be a bit hard work. So that'll definitely be better with 2. So yeah, let's see what the rest of the week's got to bring.